All right. D23 happened, sir.
Oh
A ton
man.
of stuff happened. A ton of stuff got announced. I got rants.
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
I
whoa,
got,
whoa,
whoa,
hold
whoa,
up.
what? What happened? What's up?
$20 super chat.
Wait, what?
$20 super chat on YouTube.
Oh,
Thank you to TH962. Wow, that was super kind of you.
thank you.
Thank you. That we
Appreciate
mean
it.
that means a lot to us.
Yeah, definitely. Legit. We love you.
Thank you.
Check out our Patreon. $1. We'll make it happen. There you go. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. No comment even. Just $20 like that. Thank you. That's awesome.
Thanks. Yeah, D23. A lot of stuff happened. I got rants about the park stuff. Joel, go ahead and take the movie parts, or
Oh
or whatever
man.
that is.
I was gonna say, there was a lot of things that they had that was already kind of announced, and then you have some newer stuff. I'll just jump right into the Ironheart stuff going
Okay.
on here. They did actually say that Ironheart is going to be coming out. Like they had their Agatha, presentation for that show. That I feel about it. You also had the presentation for Daredevil Born Again. That show is still being in the works, but the real kick for me was the Ironheart one, just because that was a series that sounded like it could have been dying potentially. Maybe would never even come out. I had theorized maybe it wouldn't, but it's still going to be coming out. And I did not realize that Ryan Coogler was going to be producing the show. I don't
Oh,
think he's a
interesting.
showrunner,
Okay.
but he's producing. They brought him out on stage for that, and clearly trying to tap into the Black Panther love, what he's done of creating that world with Marvel, and still keeping him involved there. When I saw that he had come out on stage, I said, "Oh, maybe this is going to be the time where he announces whether a new Black Panther movie or a Wakanda series." But obviously, everything we've heard about Disney kind of saying, "Let's chill, let's go about quality over quantity." Still keeping him involved, but not making really any big new announcements that we didn't know about before. Supposedly they did show some footage for that as well. Um, yeah, keep. I'm just scrolling through a lot of this here. You had the new Lion King trailer. You had for the new Mufasa film, which I've heard. I asked someone that's like a big Lion King fan about this, and they gave me a very good point of like, it looks like a nice movie, but it seems to be breaking a lot of Lion King lore.
Yes.
Which is like, whoa,
Yeah.
that's not
He was
great.
the king, and then the trailer painted was like, oh, he went from nobody to being the king. It's like,
Adopted into the
yeah,
family,
yeah.
which the whole line of we come
Scar.
from a long line of kings, like in the stars.
I don't know, man. Yeah.
How are they gonna
So
fix that
I'm
one?
I'm conflicted about that one because
Yeah,
that's if we could get a backstory of like Mufasa and Scar and all that, I think that would be really cool. It's just that the problem that I have with these movies is the same problem that I had with the remake. I think the
yeah,
remake was very good, but the problem is that you have this realistic looking animals, and they have no facial expressions when they talk, and it's really it's really hard to connect with the characters.
you have
But
these epic voices,
I
and then their faces
know,
are just like
man,
James Earl Jones came back for this, and
I know. Came back from the dead, and you know,
don't say that.
they got him out of the crypt and had him voice Mufasa again.
Yeah,
The and making it, going back to the original Lion King, or yeah, I guess the animated Lion King, or I should say original because this is animated too. It's just a different type of animation. You could see like the funny face that Pumbaa makes, and the funny face that Simba makes, and the teeth,
right.
and the smiling, and the thing, right? And those things are lost when you try and do it like that. You can get some of it, but a lot of it is lost. And I think that's the problem that I have with these movies. I enjoyed it. I think it was pretty good, but
Yeah.
you know, it's it has its things. Now I don't know how much lore this thing's gonna break, but I know people are not gonna be happy. It's gonna be like a Star Wars moment for the Lion King fandom.
It is, right? The pick up the pitchforks. That's not it. You don't know the story.
Right.
But like what you said about animation, and talking about another film on the list here, Snow White. they promoting that film, and you get the trailer for that. Um, Seeing how they made the dwarves look, and we'd seen that picture before the concept art, I kind of wish they would have taken that approach with the Lion King, where it's like it's
Okay.
live action, but it
Okay.
still looks familiar. Like
Right.
their expressions and stuff is still kind of cartoony in its own way. It's not
A
super. It's not
realistic,
realism. Like no one looks
yeah,
like that. Like these fantasy characters.
a realistic Pixar.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I
But
agree.
let's talk about
Let's
Snow,
talk about
Snow
Snow
White. Go
White,
for
bro.
it.
Okay.
Go for
All
it.
right. All right. As someone who resides with a hardcore Snow White fan, aka my wife,
Okay.
um,
Oh,
I
here we go.
I tossed it out there. It's like, hey, so do you see that they put out a teaser for Snow White? This is my beloved wife's words, not
My
mine,
beloved.
not mine. I just want to make sure that
Yeah.
that the words that I'm going to say right now did not come from me.
You're repeating it. That's
I'm
all.
repeating it. Hey, so I asked her, hey, so do you see how they put out a teaser for a Snow White movie? I was like, yeah, I watched it. I don't know why they picked Snow White that looks mid. And then why is Gal Gadot the queen, and why the queen is jealous of her? She's freaking Gal Gadot. I was like, that's the meme. You did the meme and you didn't even know.
And your wife didn't even know, and she said
Yeah.
it.
And I was like, okay. I laughed and I put my
Yeah, right.
I
You're
put my
allowed to laugh at
AirPods
your
on
wife.
and
Come
I laughed it
Yep.
internally. But I
Yep.
laughed with her because she started laughing. I was like, oh, this is great.
It's an
Yeah.
interesting point.
Yep.
I like the way you set that up about your wife said it, not you.
Right, no.
Very safe
Right.
man. Very safe move.
We've already
'Cause I'm
had
not gonna
opinions
comment
about
on
it.
a woman. I'm not gonna
No.
comment on a woman's appearance
Absolutely.
on here. You're
Absolutely
not gonna
not.
get me for that one, internet.
It
I'm
was
not gonna do it.
it was my wife.
But
Just take it
what
with
I
her.
will say is that is the whole premise, right? Is like when you look at it, like who is the fairest of them all, right? Snow White's supposed to be beautiful inside and outside. And if there are a group of people, I'm not putting my opinions out there. I'm just saying if there are people like your wife who are saying, I'm not really buying into it, it's interesting. Um, the singing, yeah, she sings.
Oh
I will
yeah,
not
that
come
was
against
fine.
that.
That
I'm
was
not gonna
fine.
come
I
against
think the
that at all.
dwarves look weird, but they
The
look
dwarves,
like you said,
right?
kind of like it's uncanny valley almost with them, right?
Yeah, yeah,
But at the same time they're trying to be accurate to their portrayals on from the original movie
right.
versus say the Snow White and the Huntsman, where you have actors that are not really dwarves playing dwarves, and that was a whole other kind of worms at the time, right?
Correct.
But they just look strange, man.
Yeah. The whole movie to me right now just
Yeah.
does not give me a lot of excitement, and I can't pretend to be a Snow White fan like how you said your wife is a fan of Snow White, stuff like that. So it's the same way I've talked about like Beauty and the Beast, The Little Mermaid. Like these are movies that's like, oh, these are OG movies. You grew up watching Disney. You had to have seen these things, and I liked them.
It's
But these aren't
so
the ones that I was
unfortunate
like,
that unfortunate that I can't reach my DVD rack, my
right. He
movie
like
rack.
Obed,
I
like you love, you have them, you
dude,
know.
yeah, like how like the first like diamond edition DVD they released of Snow White, we still have it. So
No, for sure.
yeah, man. And
I,
my wife, like she was one of the ones that was really bummed when they took out Scary Adventures and replaced it with, Mine Train's cool, but it's not Scary Adventures where you're immersed and that sort of thing. Like when the first time that we took our daughter to Magic Kingdom, she was dressed as Snow White, a little Snow White dress for her first birthday, and my wife made, she went
wow.
on her way to find Snow White and take a picture with her with the baby.
Wow.
I'm
Oh,
telling you,
wow.
bro. But and then
So she's for real, for real.
we got the Huntsman movie. Like she loves Snow White, bro.
Wow.
But
Okay.
yeah. And but then this thing comes out and she's like, I don't know. Which and that's why I laughed it out. I was like,
Because if she
okay,
would have been like, I'm in, you'd be like, okay.
yeah,
Like as a Snow White fanatic, okay, this is interesting a perspective, but when the perspective is the way of where a lot of people are just not into it,
Yeah.
not promising.
Yeah.
Um,
Yep.
Jumping through some more, just real quick firing off like
Yep.
animation. There's a bunch of things. Zootopia 2,
Right.
which I love Zootopia 1, so I'm glad they're doing actually a Zootopia 2. I don't know exactly where they go.
Yep.
Um, you also have Frozen 3, which no surprise. Frozen 2 did extremely well at the box office. Frozen 1 did, but Frozen 2 did even better. So
They
obviously
put a
that's going
piece
through.
of like concept art out there. Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
And they're expanding it into parks. We'll talk about parks in a second, but they're
Yeah.
expanding to parks around the world. And then Incredibles 3, which was more of a surprise to me, and I think a lot of people. When I opened
Yeah.
up my socials, that was one of the big ones I saw a lot of people talking about. Like, there's a third Incredibles movie coming. I love the
Girls
Incredibles.
is great.
Incredibles 2 wasn't too crazy, but I still like it. I still like
I think it was
Incredibles 2
good. It was super
personally.
funny. Yeah.
That was, yep. I can go back and watch again. So excited for Incredibles 3.
Yep.
And Brad Bird is coming back to direct it, so that's a big deal.
Yep.
So he'll do his impersonation of Edna again.
Yeah.
And then you have the Avatar film still coming through.
Toy Story 5.
Toy Story 5.
Yeah.
Gosh,
They put out, but
okay,
they
that's the one I didn't ask for.
summer
Respectfully.
summer 2026. Not the hashtag. Yeah. Nobody asked for this. But
Yeah.
I think the concept is good though. Because a
Yeah.
piece of concept art that they put out there, which is the kid's name, I forgot her name. She's playing with a tablet, and the toys
Is it
are watching.
Bonnie.
Bonnie, yeah, and
Right.
the toys are watching. Is like, oh, yo, like she doesn't want to play with us anymore. I showed it to my daughter, and actually like hit her. Like, yeah, I
Wow.
showed her, and
Okay.
she was like, oh, she doesn't want to play with the toys anymore. She wants to use her tablet, right? Bro, and the next day I come in from work and she's like
She's
playing
little
with her
old
toys. Yep. Like it
worked.
actually, yeah. So it worked, right?
Yeah.
Like
Message is
nobody
good.
asked for this, but the message worked, and I think that they're on to something special with this one. So
Yeah, and
yeah.
I mean, just Toy Story it shouldn't be bad by any means. None of them
Oh
have
no.
been bad. But anyways, yeah, with we're talking about like some of the other films too. Like, they also have like I think I mentioned like the new Avatar films that are coming too, which,
Fire and Ash.
you Fire and Ash, James Cameron saying I will direct 3, 4, and 5 unless I am in have an iron lung or something else, whatever he said, giving like a lot of
James Cameron.
specific background that James. And then also like you also got a first look at Stitch for Lilo and Stitch, the
Right.
live action, which the animation chef's kiss.
Looks good.
I thought that was good. It made me feel like a reimagining of the old one, which we talk about this before. There's certain movies, games, different things that when you in your mind you remember it a certain way, but then when you go back and watch, like it's good, but maybe doesn't hold up as good. For a new generation to appreciate this stuff, this is a way to keep it living on. So hopefully it hits off as well. From side. There's plenty of other announcements of things, but those are the main things for now. I know we got a lot with the parks to talk about, so I don't want to keep too much time.
Right. Just want to touch real quick on the Star Wars stuff. So Skeleton Crew, we got
Oh,
a teaser for that, and this looks to be the palate cleanser, Joe, that you were craving for.
I really hope it's good. Theory put out a thing saying
Yeah.
he feels like it looks like Stranger Things and Goonies
Stra-
meets Star Wars. I'm gonna give it a chance. I love that it looks like it's gonna be a fun Christmas family type style film, so I'll take it.
Did you see that there's a? Do you remember Captain EO from Epcot when they brought it back, the Michael Jackson 3
Yeah,
movie?
yeah.
Do you see that
Yeah.
there's a character from the movie in Skeleton Crew?
No,
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
So I guess that movie's canon to Star Wars now.
No way.
That was produced by George Lucas.
What?
Yeah. The movie was directed
I did
by
not
like
realize that.
dude, that movie was directed by like Francis Ford Coppola and produced by George Lucas. It's like insane, or yeah. Like
Revisit that one.
So yeah, so I guess like one of the like the little alien characters is gonna be in the show. So I think that's cute, like because you're bringing
Yeah.
something that George Lucas worked on and created that it's not Star Wars and bringing it to Star Wars. I think that's cool. But it looked good. Like so I was expecting something different. This looks like Jedi Fallen Order almost, in a way. It looks like a not as dark Fallen Order, because Fallen Order is pretty dark,
Yeah.
right? It looks like the more lighthearted version of like, hey, yeah, I'm like the Jedi that's kind of hiding, and I have this crew, and kind of like Rebels, right? With with being like a crew, and then bringing in Ezra, but then also Jedi's, right?
Yeah.
So that it kind of reminds me of that. I liked it. I liked it quite a bit. So I'm hopeful that this
Oh
would
yeah,
be
and
that
that's like
this
a
would
nice
be
show you can watch it as a family too. Like it's the holidays, you're gonna be with your family. Most people are with their families and stuff. Like, like you'll be with your daughter and your wife. So like it's something you can like actually like genuinely consume together and just have fun. I like that. We need more stuff like that.
right. There's some Andor stuff out there. I saw some of the videos. Those videos got pulled down from what I've seen.
Yeah.
But it's Andor.
Should be good.
It's Andor. Like, I have
Yeah.
high expectations.
100%.
So yeah, and then we had a teaser that I think was pulled as well for Grogu and Mando, right? Or the Mandalorian and
Yeah.
Grogu.
Yeah. We're hard at work for that.
Yep. So that looked interesting. I haven't watched the Daredevil stuff, but I know that Born Again, there was some clips or a trailer that got shown out there. Again, they're working very hard on not having this thing out there. When
My most anticipated Disney Plus show.
yeah, they'll put it out when the time is right. And then Tron is back, timely right now that Tron is at Magic Kingdom.
Yeah.
I think that's a good move.
Did you catch that glimpse in the opening sequence of for D23 when they had their opening presentation? They had a small glimpse of footage for Tron that they showed. It was going around
I
online.
didn't catch it.
Yeah, it looks good. Looks
Okay,
good.
so all right, cool. Yeah, they just said that Trent Reznor's working on, or Nine Inch Nails working on
Yeah.
the soundtrack. So legit. Cool. Yeah, let's go into the park stuff, dude. All right. Let me go
Here
ahead
we
and
go.
close the ads because what the heck. Okay, well, let's talk about here first, right? Well, let's talk about Disneyland. So they're getting their Avatar land at Disneyland. Speculation is that it's the California Adventure where the Grizzly Peak is called. The Grizzly Mountain area. I think there's like a river rapids going around there. So they're probably going to use that same track. But their design looks incredible, though. I think that design that they put out there looks really, really good. California Adventure is probably or at this point they should change the name from California Adventure to something else, or well they can't do Disney Adventure Park because they're using it for Paris, but yeah, sure, whatever. California Adventure, they need it. California Adventure needs it. The park has been under transformation since it opened, which is it's been it's been built for 24 years or more than that. That opening for that park was absolutely disastrous, and one of the reasons why Michael Eisner was kicked out of basically of the CEO position. So I think the changes that they've made, the the overhaul, revitalizing the park, good call. So that was cool. Looks like the Avengers campus is getting expanded as well, with a flagship ride and what it seems like one of the remember that ride over at Epcot and Interventions, Some of All Thrills. That was like
Oh, that's an old one. Yeah.
yeah, that was a robot arm that would take you around like a roller coaster thing. That seems kind of like what that Tony Stark or Iron Man ride is. So it's like a simulator ride with a robot arm, but then they'll have an actual like flagship attraction with King Thanos, and it has a name, Avengers.
It's Infinity something, Infinity Quest something.
Yeah, I don't know why my notes are not loading here. Hold on.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time
I'm
with
gonna
some
I'm
of
gonna
these as
let me
well,
see if I can look up an article here. Hold on.
for sure. But yeah, I mean, look, I'll just quickly talk about it as you're looking
Yeah,
up. But like the fact that they are expanding, or it's almost, I think some people said technically doubling of the size of what they have right for the Avengers campus area
Yep.
is brilliant. Like they will talk about more the other parks of what they're doing, but the mere fact that they're saying like we are now creating more of a reason to have tourism at California, because they've done what they've done at Disney World, right? Disney World's always going to have its tourists, but Disneyland seems to have had, as we've seen, some struggles with tickets.
Right.
They're not going to make their money from pass holders. Pass holders they lose money on. By having like an experience like this, where people are going to travel from other countries, say, "I need to go to Avengers Campus," and you get 3 rides essentially out of it, because you get your Spider-Man ride, you have your Avengers Infinity one you'll talk about now, and then this new Stark one.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. All right. I think I found a better article here, but now it's not displaying properly.
Oh,
Jeez, come
lovely.
on. Come on,
But yeah,
bro.
like I mean, that's and they already have outside of it too. I mean, I've not been. I want to go to Disneyland, Disney California Adventures. This I know that's on. I want to go over there soon. Every time I've been in California, I've just been busy with Comic Con and other stuff that I haven't had time to do it. Um, but it sounds to
There we go.
me, and they already have plenty of experiences from the Marvel side. They've done a good job of building it out already with other things. That area is gonna be packed.
Yeah. Yep. So, Coco ride for California Adventure got
Yeah.
announced as well, and a Walt Disney Audio animatronic. I think this is a huge deal.
70th anniversary of the park is when this comes out.
Right. And they've also filed a. So this is going to be sharing the same theater as the Abe Lincoln
Yeah,
speech, and they
turntable.
correct right. So they patented a a turntable where the shows can move around. Unfortunately, I don't think they can do something like that at Magic Kingdom because that stage for Hall of Presidents is really big. Although we'll come to Magic Kingdom later. I yeah, I have opinions, but we'll you know, as a Disney old school, you know, theme park goer, I have opinions about Magic Kingdom, but you'll be surprised at some of them. So
No,
we'll
no,
get there.
I love it. I
We'll
love it.
get
I
there. We'll
loved
get
it.
there.
It's from an endearing place.
Right. Mando and Grogu on Smuggler's Run, so that's gonna be added as part of the experience.
Which is
That's
both Disneyland and Disney World, I
right.
assume.
Yep. So that seems to be the case, and that is basically that for Disneyland. Disney World. All right, let's start with Hollywood Studios. So they announced the Monsters Inc. Suspended roller coaster. It's going to be the first suspended roller coaster at WDW.
Yeah.
Yeah, many rumors, many. A lot of people are speculating where thing's going to go because of the concept art. They show two different pieces of concept art. The two pieces of concept art you can actually put in two different places of the park. Allegedly, the concept art piece that shows the ride in what seems to be the Muppets courtyard
Hmm.
allegedly is from 2020. There was someone from Imagineering out there, like a former Imagineer, saying if you like Muppets, make sure to go within the next 15 months to go check it out.
Wow.
But then one of the pieces of concept art looks like the Star Wars launch bay, which that area is not being used right now, only for the Disney Junior show. Little Mermaid opens in October again, but I'm sure that they can make some magic and make it look like that's not part of that Monsters Inc. area. I looked up Google Maps. That area and that space behind Launch Bay it's big enough to have a show building where they can fit it. I think that's the obvious place. I would hate to see the Muppets area go away.
Me too.
That shop has been closed since the pandemic. They should reopen that shop. They should at least revitalize that area. The Christmas shop was closed as well when we went. So that area needs some TLC, but I think it stands out. I think that that area should stay as like, oh, this is one of the areas that's left kinda from what the park once was. So I think that that should stay, and they should do it in Launch Bay, which Launch Bay is the remnants of the backlot tour. Just completely just get rid of whatever's left, and that's at this point that's fine. But what do you think?
Yeah, I like where you're coming from. This is coming from someone who loves Star Wars. If they switched out on the side where Launch Bay is, it would be a better flow of traffic. That area could use a major attraction like that. I and you're I have a soft spot for the Muppets. There's no way around it. I
Yeah,
think that
yeah, yeah.
the Muppets need some TLC like many other old Disney rides. It needs a little love, but I don't think it needs to go. But at the same extent, exactly what you said, and I had a conversation about you this before. Like, take it with a grain of salt. Talking to people who know people at Disney from before
Right,
D23 went on
right.
was telling me, "Hey, there's gonna be a Monsters Inc. thing, and it's gonna be at where the Muppets is." So then this announcement comes out and confirms that, hey, this Monsters Inc.'s coming. I don't know that maybe it's just mixed reports. Clearly, there's to me every bit of rumor where there's smoke, there's fire, there's something to it. That doesn't mean necessarily that it is going to end up there. Like you said, it could be the Launch Bay area, but there has to have been some consideration or already decision around that it was it'd be the Muppets area or something else. So it's anyone's guess. Will it? I think if you like the Muppets, exactly what that person said, you need to make sure you get out and enjoy it over the next year,
Just in
because we
case,
just in
because we don't
case,
know.
because we don't know. But I think it makes sense. But just because it makes sense doesn't mean that's what they're gonna do for the launch bay
Oh
thing.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's like knowing Disney, if it makes too much sense, they're probably gonna do the opposite thing. So,
Right.
you know, that's how they operate. No news for Epcot. No Play Pavilion. I'm still very sad and disappointed. We actually had a pretty good conversation about Epcot on Monday.
We did. I know.
Show you the
I know.
planter because you never realized it,
I I
and
was like, no, I didn't realize.
yeah,
No.
sad. So I think about it and I get sad about Epcot. But Animal Kingdom, which is a park that you've been saying for a long time that they do
Needs it.
needs a refresh.
Yep.
I think as much as I like dinosaurs and I think Dino Land is kind of cool, it was at least. Now there's really not much. I think the change is good. I think the change to Encanto and having an Encanto ride, which is what they said, and having a like a South Central America area of the park makes sense. I think that again, dinosaurs are cool, but bringing in culture from other places in a park that already has a very rich representation of other cultures makes total sense. So I like it. I'm behind it. I think the Indiana Jones ride fits well with the setting. It kind of clashes with Encanto, but it fits well with the setting. And it's good to hear that it's going to be a different ride from the one at Disneyland. It's not going to be the same ride. It's going to be brand new. So that's all cool. Concept art looks good. Also, I think Josh is the guy, Joel, because I think the park's presentation was definitely the highlight
Oh, for sure.
of this showing.
For sure.
Also, very clear that Josh came out and said this is not blue sky stuff. We are committed to doing these things.
Start off with a joke.
Oh
That's what it was, dude. He was starting off with a joke.
no!
He was being self-aware. That was a little Deadpool.
Well, he was joking with like last D23 that was a
Oh, I
disaster.
know.
Yeah,
I know.
because that
But
was
that's what I'm
that
saying.
was all
Him
bad.
straight
I was
saying,
like,
well, this ain't blue sky. We're actually doing
it was
this.
the
It was
Chapek
very
one, right?
self-aware.
It was the last one that
Yes.
Chapek was around.
Yeah.
And that was terrible. That
Oh,
was
for sure.
awful. Yeah, and you could tell, bro. Like you can tell that Chapek was running the show, and he didn't. He wanted to do things his way. Now you can see where some of the creative freedom at least has flown. So, anywho,
Yeah.
yeah. What do you think of Animal Kingdom?
Well, like you said, I've been calling for Animal Kingdom to have a lot of love, and I love that it's getting a refresh and getting some new stuff. Uh, the Indiana Jones thing, like updating Dinosaur, I am not married to Dinosaur the ride. I think it's a nice ride. I think it's a fun
It
ride,
was at
but
some
it,
point.
it was. But I am all for, you know, update that sucker with a completely new ride, take the same track and make a new story around. I'm all for it, so it doesn't bother me. And the fact that you said it's Indiana Jones and it's still it's tying a little bit into the animal thing, but still fantasy because it's a fantasy beast that he's hunting, or not hunting but seeking. How does this play into a treasure hunter? Not really sure. Maybe the beast guards treasure, kind of like a
Could be.
smog type thing. I don't know. But what I am saying, like it's clearly also like an Aztec kind of style theme. So when it connects to Encanto, it's like you're not the same, but like you're a little close, like in the style, right? Um,
Sure.
so- right, you're like, hey, like we're not the same, but like we're not too far off. I'll leave it at that. But then like I think there's been talk before about like there was I think a film or something one time like Indiana Jones and the Burden of the Beast or something like that was like a thing that was going to be at one time. I think that got canceled, so it's almost like playing into old Indiana Jones fans of like, hey, the story you never got. So I'm a big fan of that. The Encanto thing makes sense. Movie did extremely well. And the fact
Yeah.
that it is an actual ride, not a show, not a walk through a house. That's what I was afraid of. I was afraid when they announced Encanto, I was like, come to the
That's what they.
casita and you're
That's
just
what they
going to be
said.
walking around a house. And I'm like, I don't want to walk
That's
through a
what
house. I want to
Chapek
ride.
said. That's what Chapek had
Right.
before. Now they actually
Jimmy
changed it. So
made it an actual ride. So I love that. I
yeah.
love that. The Zootopia thing, as many people have said before, it doesn't make sense to be a show. Why is this it's replacing It's Tough to Be a Bug? It's Tough to Be a Bug probably also needed a little TLC similar to the Muppets, but it doesn't make sense to have animals under a tree telling a story. Bugs made sense, but I digress.
Yeah.
That leads into my last point here with Animal Kingdom. I love the stuff they announced. I'm all for it. My issue is I want to see Animal Kingdom expand. I didn't want it to just be renovated. And it feels like
I
it's
see.
more of a
I
renovation
see.
than it is an expansion. So like it's one of the few parks that sometimes can feel kind of small for what you get. And you're like, hey, I've done my 5 experiences and I saw some gorillas and I'm done for the day. It's one of those ones I want people to feel like, hey, it's 8 o'clock at night and I still got two more shows and experiences I want to do, and it's not the Indiana Jones ride I did beginning of the morning. I'm riding it again. I want them to have something new. But
Right.
again, step in the right direction. Love what they've done. We'll see.
Right. All right. Magic Kingdom. Because this is
Here
the
we
one
go.
that a lot of Disney purists now are up in arms because they realized it after the fact. So, Villain's Land, or whatever they're going to call it. Um, I just feel like they're 15 years too late to hit the nail on the head on that one. People were really excited. Like, fans were really excited, or the people that were there were really excited for it. It just doesn't do anything for me. There, unless you can compete with what Universal showed with the Dark Universe, which they could very well be going for a more family friendly approach to that concept. That would be cool. When I was watching, you texted me. It was like perfect timing because I was watching the recap with my daughter, and we were watching everything. You texted me, and she told me something very interesting. Why hasn't the Disney parks done something with Kingdom Hearts? And I was like,
Yeah.
because it makes too much sense. And she
Yeah.
looks at me and she's like, "What do you mean?" Because she doesn't get it. I was like, "You'll you'll know.
One day.
You'll one day you'll know." Okay,
Hmm.
so we left it there, but yeah, I would have asked again. Why are they only trying to have their own IPs here, bro? You would have taken that Villain's Land and you would have made it a Kingdom Hearts thing, and you would have gotten Square on board, and you would have licensed for friggin' Cloud and Sephiroth and Aerith and Lee and Squall and all these other Final Fantasy characters that show up in Kingdom Hearts, plus Sora, and then you get Donald and Goofy with their Kingdom Hearts outfits and King Mickey. Why not?
Yeah.
Why not? And then you do a ride that's like, you take Filler Magic, which is probably the closest thing we've had to Kingdom Hearts, where you go to world, from world to world, and you make it go through like different worlds. Like, oh, we made it to the Beast Castle. Oh, we made it to like Ariel, like under the sea. Oh, we made it to the desert with Aladdin, and it just makes too much sense. But here we are with Villain's Land. I think the concept art looks fine. I think the location's good. Putting it like behind Haunted Mansion, having it like a based on like pictures and people putting stuff together. There will be two walkways, one from Haunted Mansion and one from Big Thunder Mountain, and it's gonna be back in that area. I think that's a good spot. Coming through Haunted Mansion, they can really theme it really well. So yeah, I mean they're saying what, two rides there. It looks like one's gonna be a roller coaster type ride because they had like train tracks or something going on.
Yeah.
But what do you think?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of this land. I didn't ask for this. I understand that there is a large group of I don't know how younger people are, but I know there's a large group of Disney adults that like have a love for the villains. I mean, you go to the parking lot and it's separated as heroes and villains, you know. There are people out there who are like they there's a reason why they made a Maleficent movie. You know what I mean? There's a
Right,
reason why they
right,
do these things. So I not coming against that part of it. Um, I just think as a side of a land, I feel like this is clearly one of the ones that's more of the answer or attempt to have an answer at Epic Universe because of them have like the whole dark verse and trying to tap into more of an adult type. I don't say adult, but just more mature type of style of a thing. And clearly Disney's always been seen as like, hey, this is the kid family friendly thing, right? So I definitely feel like this is just more of them trying to tap into something that they haven't done before. But that didn't have to be villains. I think that they've had ideas before that they've put to the side that could have been both for the young and the old and still been entertaining. You mentioned Kingdom Hearts. That made me instantly think of what we have talked about with, the whole Play Pavilion getting canceled at Epcot and, the missed opportunity around the power of gaming and, this movement of where people spend
right.
more money on games. The gaming industry makes more money than film and music combined. Combined, they make more money. I don't think they understand where this industry is and how they could tap into and how Disney could be at the forefront because they probably don't have people who are in touch with that side of it. And Disney as a whole has even just on like game development has kind of taken a backseat even more. That was kind of on the Chapek days too. So that part makes sense. But yeah, a whole new land and you're just gonna have two rides. That's not the answer to Universal, in my opinion. But I digress. I'll wait and see. I'll give it a
Right.
chance and see what the announcement is.
Yeah. And with that came the announcement of Carsland. And then no one realized where this was going to be taking place at. And then people started looking at the map and the concept art that they gave you. And then they said that this was going to be an expansion to Frontierland. And the Rivers of America is going away. I looked at the map. I looked at the Google map. I looked at the concept art. I don't think there's a way, Joel, that the Rivers of America will stay. And Tom Sawyer Island's going to be gone. That's fine. I think that if you theme an area after Cars, I think that's more attractive than Tom Sawyer.
Yeah, I agree.
I haven't been to. I'm gonna when I go to Magic Kingdom now in the next I don't know month and a half. I'm gonna go. My daughter hasn't been to Tom Sawyer Island. She said she wanted to go, and now even more before they close it. I gotta be honest with myself as a I don't like what they did to Epcot, and I'm really mad about it. But bro, if you get rid of Tom Sawyer Island and you put cars in there, I'm in for it. It's fine. That doesn't bother me at all. I think that's a good move. I think the Rivers of America, though, I think that's a really enjoyable, just kind of relax and go around. And it's an old man ride. I'm an old man. I'll enjoy that. That's fine. That will be missed. But at the same time, right, when you have the capacity problems that the Magic Kingdom has been experiencing for the last
Hmm.
few years, yeah, sure, it can go away with for something that has more capacity, something that's more appealing to guests, and that could potentially even have lower maintenance costs than the Rivers of America. So, unfortunate, but I totally can see it. I totally can see this being a hit. What do you think?
Yeah, Magic Kingdom. This is one of the better announcements out of all the things that they were putting out there. Uh, Tom Sawyer's Island is was nice for its time, I'm sure. And the idea of just like it's not a ride thing, it's just exploration sounds really cute. And it is a cute thing. It's a nice thing. It's kind of like how you have your Swiss Family Robinson tree. It's there, you go through it. It's nice. But when it comes down to it, you have a capacity problem very clearly at Magic Kingdom. And you need to find a way to spread crowds out because everywhere you go, you try to escape. It's like in the old days, maybe I'm crazy, but it feels like in the old days, you'd be able to say, you know what? I can go over this area for a little bit, that area a little bit, and kind of spread the crowd out and be all right.
Right.
But then like you have it now where it feels like you go anywhere. You go on the little a speedway ride that's like
Oh yeah,
jaggedy,
the
and you still
worst
gotta
ride at
wait in
Disney.
line. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
still gotta wait in the line.
yeah.
I love the idea of spreading out. What I am concerned about in general is that the concept behind well now we've got an expansion of things because they are clearly expanding. They're not doing the Animal Kingdom thing, right? Animal Kingdom is just kind of reusing land and giving it a facelift.
Right.
They're actually pushing out and giving you more things. I am concerned that they're going to say, well, we're going to increase capacity because we have more space now.
I don't think
And
there's
I
gonna be.
don't, I hope that's not the case.
I don't think that's
I,
the case because
yeah.
from what I understand, there's variables.
Okay.
It's not just people in. It's also like parking spaces. Like the hotel, like their like resort stays. Like there's a lot of variables that Disney uses to determine what capacity is for their
Yeah.
parks. So I don't think that's gonna be a big
I
problem.
hope. I really hope not. Because like when you start increasing capacity, you got to figure out ways to get more people in and out of the park because the boats and the monorail is
Oh
always a
yeah,
disaster,
man, it's a
and you're gonna put
disaster.
more people.
Yeah.
Not great.
Now the thing that I do hope is that they don't close the train again for 5 years while they build the villains thing
I know.
because build a tunnel, build a tunnel. That's probably the easiest way. Just build a tunnel over the thing and then build over, right? And that way
It's
you have
probably a legal
hey
thing though, Obed. It's probably a legal thing with a certain amount of feet close to it. Construction, you can't. I'm sure there has to be something about that.
they're
I'm hoping I'm wrong. I'm hoping that they're able to continue, like you said, and keep it alive while they build.
yeah.
But I wouldn't be shocked, man.
Yeah, that stinks if that's the case. So, yeah, we'll see. Um, let's go to Hall of Presidents real quick, Joe. Because I mentioned it in passing. You're laughing.
This is great.
I think Hall of Presidents is the second best sit down and get some air attraction at Disney.
I thought you were gonna say it's your second favorite thing next to
No,
the Rivers of America.
no. The Living with the Land
Open's a
is
patriot.
probably out there. So,
Sorry.
I think that as an educational tool,
Yeah.
right? When you bring edutainment into the parks, it's phenomenal. The same thing goes to the American Adventure at
Oh, I
at
love that.
Epcot, right? Which I think is the superior one.
Oh, for sure. It's the
But
old man ride, but I love it.
yeah, yeah. The only problem that I have right now with the Hall of Presidents is not the attraction itself; it's people, and it goes back to what I was talking about at the beginning of the show,
Okay.
where people are being disrupted and disrespectful.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah,
like, no one, I don't need that as a guest. Two,
for sure.
cast members don't need that as cast members.
Yep.
Like, straight up, if you're visiting the Hall of Presidents, just stay quiet. Watch that. Take a nap, bro. Like, take a nap. Like, no one cares about your politics. Just watch the show. Take a nap. Do whatever. You don't need to disrupt. But I can see, Joel, that if the problems continue, Disney could very well just do something else there.
But I mean, that's like a Walt Disney original, bro.
It's, yeah,
I mean,
it's unfortunate.
that's the thing. It's hard, but it's such an original like
It
thing,
is.
like. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
I don't know, man. Bring back Ellen's Energy Adventure.
No, no, don't do that. Don't do it. Don't do that.
Just drop it in there.
I don't hate
Now,
that ride.
but
I'm
you
just
know
saying
what?
It doesn't make sense in this day and age.
You know what? Give and take. If the Muppets, if they actually build the thing with the Muppets, the monster thing with the Muppets, take the presidents out and do Muppets show there. I would rather see the Muppets do American
it's
history.
Very American.
The-
Muppets.
Yeah. I would rather see the
celebration
Muppets do
of all countries, but mostly,
mostly
America.
America. Yeah. Heck yeah,
America.
bro.
Yeah.
And do a Muppets thing there. A new
Oh,
show, a new thing. That's just me, right? And this is coming from
man.
like someone that, again, purist when it comes to the parks, but compromises need to be made. Unfortunately, that I'm not saying that it's in my chopping block, but I can see Disney making choices. So they can either and they're letting people know now before the show starts. Please, out of respect, do not applaud. Do not do like shut up, basically. And I've seen videos of people just like yelling and doing stuff, and the poor cast member on the microphone is like, "Please do not." So it's like, out of respect for the show, do not stop clapping or stop hollering or whatever. People are dumb.
For sure. For sure. That's just what I'm talking about where like people want to go to be entertained. It's like, take
Yeah.
a step back.
Yeah, exactly. Come on, guys. Come on.